Hi and welcome back to the Rideshare Buddy YouTube channel. My name's Kevin and today's just a shortish video and it's a November 2024 update on EV charging prices, which as a private eye driver, Uber driver, airport transfer driver, you'll know just how important getting the right price for your EV charging at public networks is for profitability, especially if you don't have home charging. Now, a lot of councils now have deadlines whereby they're going to have their cars changed over to EVs or tailpipe emission free cars. There is no hydrogen cars available at the moment that can be used. So it's basically battery EVs. I'll do another video shortly in the next couple of days about how to see what sort of changes in fuel pricing you're going to get, not to do with next charges of EVs, not to do with maintenance or anything like that, purely on a mile per mile basis, compare prices of public charging versus prices of petrol. But anyway, this is a November update. There's a few changes happening in the EV charging scene at public chargers. So let's get on with the three main EV chargers I use. First one, obviously, is Tesla. Get your subscription, $8.99 a month, and it varies around the country as to off-peak and peak timing, and also the pricing. Here in Newport, peak time is between 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock at night, and you're paying 47p a kilowatt hour. During off-peak time, that's every other time, apart from that sort of 4 till 8, it's 40p a kilowatt hour. It's the cheapest you're going to find for an ultra charger anywhere in the region, and it's probably going to be the same throughout the country. Tesla is mainly off-peak. Tesla is mainly your best deal if you can get off-peak charging. Okay, so my second main supplier, actually it's probably my first main supplier, is Ionity down at Mega. I pay £10.50 a month for their Power Plus passport, and that gives me recharging at 43p a kilowatt hour. So that's cheaper than Tesla peak time charges, but not quite as cheap as the Tesla off-peak charging. But there's not a lot of difference in it. I tend to use Ionity a lot because pricing is good. It's 24-hour pricing. You don't have to worry about what time you're charging up and that. And it's 350 kilowatt chargers as opposed to 250 kilowatt chargers at Tesla. But the big difference is I have an Ioniq 5, 800 volt system. Teslas don't charge up at 800 volts and Ionity do. So I max out at charging at Tesla at 98 kilowatts. Down at the Ionity, I max out at 220, normally about 180. So I can halve my time charging at Ionity than charging at Tesla. So even though it only costs 3p a kilowatt more, the time I save, I can earn more money by being on the road. So Ionity, if you've got Ionity in your area, it's the one to go for. Pay for Power Plus, £10.50 a month, 43p a kilowatt hour. Probably the best all-round value there is. Ionity is opening up loads of stations around the country. It's run by a number of large manufacturers like BMW, Porsche, Hyundai, have all got involved in it, and it really is trying to take on the Tesla network. Lots coming on stream over the next couple of years. So watch out for that. 43p kilowatt hour, probably the best value all round. As an Uber driver, not a vast Uber driver, but I do try and do a couple of jobs a week to keep my Uber discount at BP Pulse. As an Uber driver, you get free BP Pulse membership. That saves you about £8, £9 a month. And there's a special rate for Uber drivers of 49p a kilowatt hour at their ultra chargers. That's 150 kilowatt chargers or more. So 50 kilowatt chargers and above, you're charging 49p, and below 59, so destination chargers and their sort of 11 and 22 kilowatt chargers are 27p a kilowatt hour. But that takes way too long to charge up, so I ignore those completely. So BP is still there. One thing to look out for BP, if you are not a Uber driver and you are just a general BP Pulse subscriber, is that check some of the pricing. Generally, 150 kilowatt chargers on BP are 63p a kilowatt hour. That's the standard fare price. Uber drivers get 49p, but some locations have 150 kilowatt chargers at 59p. Just started. I'd noticed that when I last went down to Gatwick, stopped off at BP at Reading West. There's 2 BP ultra chargers at the BP filling station. Not where the Tesla or the GridServe are, but down at the BP station, and that pricing is 59p kilowatt hour, so 4p kilowatt hour cheaper than general BP Pulse. So that's one to look out for. So that's my 3 main ones. Not really big movements. Tesla price has stabilised after that earlier increase at 40 and 47. Ionity holding firm at 43, and BP Pulse staying firm at 49p kilowatt hour. And those are pretty much putting me on the same sort of price per fuel, per mile than petrol in a hybrid Ioniq, and that's working out about 60 miles per gallon. So that's the 3 main ones. But what sort of changes are happening at the moment? So GridServe, I called in at the GridServe electric highway at Gatwick, and it was fantastic. It really is, but it's very pricey. GridServe is. The new one at Gatwick is fantastic. A fabulous coffee shop. They've got an Amazon Fresh store inside, and as you know, Amazon Fresh don't need money, don't need apps, don't need nothing. You walk in, it watches your movement, pick up what you want, it records it, takes it off your Amazon account when you walk out. No tills at all. An amazing place. Really nice, comfortable place to be. You can do test drives of various cars. Had one on display. I think it was a new Polestar 4 inside the coffee shop. Very fast charging, but as I say, pricey. Normally 79p kilowatt hour. If you use that app, if you remember during the summer, it was 20% off. Then if you bought through the app, it went down 10% off. Well, now it's just 5% discount. If you go into the GridServe, it's down to 75p kilowatt hour if you buy it through the app, as opposed to 79p kilowatt hour. So GridServe is quite expensive and not really a viable option if you are a professional driver. But if you're a sales rep going out, GridServe electric highway, if you can offset your charges to the business, it's a place to go. Right, so InstaVolt, the other big server, is offering off-peak charges now. I think peak time, 85p kilowatt hour across all of their 50 kilowatt up to 350 kilowatt chargers. Off-peak from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. So if you're a night driver, this will help. Down to 54p kilowatt hour. But again, way more expensive than the Tesla, way more expensive than Ionity, and way more expensive than BP Uber driver discount. So not really a viable option, much like GridServe, not really viable. If you've got any of those 3 previous ones, Tesla, Ionity and BP close by. So things are beginning to move. Also, not locally, but quite way up the road on the way to southwest Wales. We have EDF now doing their chargers down there at 62p kilowatt hour for very fast 300 kilowatt charging. Very impressed with it. So that's EDF. Then we're going to start coming out at other locations. Very small network at the moment, only about 12 in the country, but watch that, EDF, they see that there's now over 1.5 million EVs on the road. Energy companies are going to start getting interested. The other thing I've read on the paper today is that the Transport Secretary is now actively looking at the pricing of public chargers to see how they can help bring that price down. So we may see some drops in the coming months through government action. Whether that's to do with the VAT or whether it's going to be to do with the new GB Energy getting involved in installing chargers, I don't know. But watch the space. Prices could start falling due to government action. So that's the main situation regarding the ultra chargers. But what about the slower chargers, the 50 kilowatts and below? Are we seeing movement there? In Newport in particular, I'll go with Newport because that's where I am. Yes, things are happening. Our Lidl on the Cardiff Road has finally changed over to Lidl charging. I think they used to be at Pod Point at one time. And Lidl used to charge, let's get this, that's 75p a kilowatt hour at 50 kilowatt charging. So here's my Lidl Plus app. It's now gone to Lidl's own branded chargers. And if you pay through the Lidl app, if you've got the Lidl app, EV charging, and it's 62p for 50 kilowatts. So I did think we could get that coming up, but it's not come up. But yeah, they did a local promotion just recently. When I switched on the Lidl app, it came up 62p a kilowatt hour, so that's dropped from 75p. And what I'm finding is that Dragon is beginning to respond. Now, Dragon is the main supplier for local councils in Wales. Very expensive, 50 kilowatt. They do from 7 kilowatt up to 50 kilowatt charging, and those are all priced at 65 kilowatt hour. They do have a couple of a few sites with 120 kilowatt charging, and that again is priced at 65p per kilowatt hour normally. But what I've noticed is a few drops in prices. So do look out if you're in Wales and you use Dragon regularly, because some sites are still paying 65p kilowatt hour. But let's have a look at this. The Riverfront car park, I don't know if you can see that. Riverfront car park, they're 22 kilowatt chargers charging 65p kilowatt hour. They're 50 kilowatt chargers charging 60p kilowatt hour. So their 50 kilowatt chargers are dropping in price in response to other suppliers, I imagine. Lidl's are charging 62. They've now dropped below 62. Again, still not competing with the ultra chargers at Tesla just up the road, not competing with the Ionity over at Mega, and not competing with the BP Pulse 150s at Malpass Road. But 5p discounts coming off, and some of them are still at 65, some are at 60. If you're relying on Dragon, do your checks. Make sure you're not just turning up at the wrong one when there's no one just down the road charging a cheaper rate. So what about overnight charging facilities? Well, in Newport it's not good. There's a few overnight chargers run by Connected Curb, which is the cheapest. Dragon has some overnight chargers at 65p kilowatt hour. Connected Curb has 50p kilowatt hour. Not good. I wouldn't waste my time parking up overnight at 50p kilowatt hour when I can get it for 40p kilowatt hour down at Tesla, 43 at Ionity, 49 at BP Pulse. The other thing with the Connected Curb and the overnight chargers, and to a certain extent the Dragon as well, is that these overnight chargers are being placed in areas where there's lots of terraced housing, lots of flats, lots of HMOs, and that's I live in one of those areas, so I'm not trying to look down on them, but they are high crime areas. My nearest one is a 15-minute walk away. I'm not going to walk through some of these areas at 11 o'clock at night, having plugged the car in. And besides which, these are drug alleys. By the time the car's reached 50%, the cable would have been taken out, nicked for the copper, and the car would be stripped down. I don't park. I just would not park overnight in some of these areas at 50p kilowatt hour when I can do it so much quicker, easier and cheaper elsewhere. However, saying that, if you look on Zap Map, just arrived, popped up, I've noticed, haven't seen them around for before, is Caldicot in Monmouthshire. It's way too far for me to go, but something to look out for. They have some really nice community chargers. That can't do it. Community chargers. These are, let's have a quick look, 11 kilowatt hour and supplied by Shell Recharge. Yes, I know Shell Recharge are some of the most expensive ultra chargers in the country, but these are community by Shell Recharge, 11 kilowatt hour, 21p a kilowatt hour. So that's much more affordable for an overnight charger. If I had some local overnight chargers at a community hub at 11 kilowatts, charging at 21 kilowatt hour, I would be tempted. Probably wouldn't do it that often. Again, it would depend on the area. If it's in a bad area, I wouldn't leave the car overnight. But Caldicott's quite a safe run. But look out for those. New guy on the block, community at Shell Recharge, or community by Shell Recharge, coming in at 21p kilowatt hour for overnight charging. That's really acceptable. So that's really the update. A little bit of movement on BB Pulse when they've got local competition. Dragon is beginning to respond to competition. Both GridServe and InstaVolt are offering discounts to try and make themselves more relevant and affordable. And a new kid on the block for ultrachargers, EDF, one to look out for, and a new kid on the block for late overnight charging, cheap rates, 21p kilowatt hour, is community by Shell Recharge. So that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed that. I'm about to go out on shift. I'm doing a day shift today. Well, no, an afternoon shift. Just locals. I'm going to be running Uber, Bolt, and a new one. Let's just get that out. I can show you. Is Taxi Caller. So I'm on Taxi Caller, and we'll see if we get anything or what happenings on that video. But that's it. Thanks for watching. Till next time, drive safe, and I'll do another update next month to see if there's any further changes in pricing. Because at the end of the day, there's only one way EV charger prices are going to go, and that's down.